Hello and welcome to New Earth Awakening. Today, we have the honor and the pleasure to welcome back to the show, Tracy Juechter.
Hi, Carolina. It's nice to be here. And you are so beautiful. You actually gave my last name a more German pronunciation, but I have to admit, my family only says Juechter.
Well, Tracy, thank you very much for being here with us, with your team of guides and everybody. So I will link the first video we did together here, where people can find out more about your journey and how it led you to the work that you are doing today. And today we're going to start by diving right into it. Would you like to introduce to us the Kailherixs, please?
Yes, I do. It's one of the main reasons I wanted to do another interview with you because they are a beautiful new species that came in when we had a situation where a friend of ours lived in, really a little Outer Bank island right off the west coast of Florida, right near Sarasota. Her property had already been hit by 2 previous storms. And now this huge storm, Milton, was coming in. Very unusual for a storm to build in that sort of, Gulf of Mexico, if you are in the historic name of it, or the Gulf of America, if you want to use the Trump version to me. But from that bay, very unusual for hurricanes to come from that side. And this one was building and building, and it was already up to a class 5 and moving, as they predicted, to hit directly right where Sarasota was once again. And so we called together some various groups that we have worked with before. We have a beautiful friend, J.W. Harden, who has an amazing relationship with angels. And so we wanted him and anybody who works with him on group prayers, group intents to change things, to be part of it. I have another friend, Diana James, who works with the Davic realm, which is like a sub-aspect of the angelic realm. For those who haven't heard of them, they are a creation that relates more to property. Like every time there's a new boundary created on a property, there's a deva that attaches itself to it. And then it goes along through the hierarchy. So your personal property will have one, and then, the whole city will have one, and then the county will have one, and then the state will have one. So when we did this, we called upon the devas of all of the counties, of all of the states that bordered the Gulf of Mexico and all of Florida's and whatever. So we had a huge amount of Devic input into this. And that's who I originally thought we would only be working with, but I always have this habit where I ask any beings of love and light in service to humanity who want to participate in what I'm doing to show up. And so I was very surprised when I felt this totally different energy than I had ever felt come into the field with us as we were holding this intent. And they were definitely, the brief little visual glimpses of them I got were very strange. They had 2 sets of arms, sort of like normal kind of human arms, but then a smaller set of arms that seemed to kind of come out from the chest area and have amazing flexibility. And they tended to keep them kind of crossed over their abdomens. So I just, beings of love and light here in service. Great. So how are you going to help us? How can you participate with us? And what they shared with me is that they would stand along the borders of any of the areas that were going to be affected by the hurricane. And then they showed me, they opened these little mini arms up, and they had this mechanism of folds of skin that they would use to create vibrations. And so they would read the vibration of the wind or the water or whatever coming towards them and create a vibrational field that would then neutralize whatever was coming at them. And I thought, okay, that sounds amazing. Happy to have you here, part of the team. We had an intent that, people, property, and animals all be safe. So great. Welcome aboard on the team. And so initially we did this on a Monday. I think it was a Monday night. Yeah. And at that time, our friend GW, very conscientious about everything. And, from what he could see at that point, this was a normal hurricane, no outside influence trying to control it in any way, shape, or form. So, in our intent, we were very careful to say, working along with the intention of Mother Nature, if there's anything that can be done to diminish the intensity of this storm or redirect it, like kind of maybe below Florida, but above, whatever other Cuba that's down there, but, like not wanting to aim it at anybody else, right? Like, what can be done? And by the next morning, it had gone from a level 5 to a level 3, which was great. But then through the day, it started to climb back up again. And then my friend GW sent me evidence that, yeah, this hurricane was being messed with. Because normally in a hurricane, there's no straight lines, it's all circular. And this one clearly showed straight lines. So there was some other kind of influence on this storm. So we regathered all the groups together again the next night. And this time it was like, okay, no holds barred. We are sovereign beings. Messing with weather is not allowed on our planet. And so, we ask and allow that this storm, be dismantled and, to the best of the ability of the group gathered so that we can preserve the safety of people, places, and animals. So it was very interesting. The next morning I got up, and according to the news, we had not succeeded. Things were bad. But then later in the day, this beautiful video was sent to me showing how, no, in fact, the storm had got back down to a 3. And literally, just as it got to the coast, you saw the whole eye of the storm disappear, all the clouds just dissipate. And this to me felt like, wow, okay, like the Kailherixs said, that's where they would be, is right on the shoreline. And poof, the whole thing just disappeared. I was like, okay, I'm really glad I made friends with these guys. And, a little while later after we had done this, they started showing up in my one-on-one sessions, especially when people needed really powerful healings for, just very difficult long-term health issues. And other times I noticed when we were in our group meditations, praying for positive outcomes about things, they would come in very strongly. And at one point, they just were saying, like, okay, we want you to channel us. We want people to know about us. We want them to call on us because we are here to help. And this is their gift back, they said. At a certain point in their evolution on their planet, they had the help of outsiders, ET influence who helped their society, their culture, their technology move to greater levels. And so now this is part of what they like to do, is bring their gifts into other regions and assist.
Wow, that's really amazing. So, hi, Kailherixs. How are you guys doing? And thanks for being here. Would you like to channel them a little bit to see what they have to say for themselves?
Sure, they're happy to let you ask questions. I'm going to take a minute and let them come through. And just so you know, if it's the same as last time, you're going to kind of see my body jerking around a little bit because they are super high frequency beings. And it takes a little bit for me to adjust and allow them to come through, but it doesn't hurt me at all. It just looks a little bizarre. So here we go. Greetings, beautiful beings of Earth. We are the Kailherixs, and we know that it may be difficult for you to understand us. We do not spend much time using vocalization to communicate. We are a group that has already learned to communicate telepathically, and most of our focus is on the vibrational level. But we can do this. And so we hope that you will understand, and we are happy to answer any questions you have of us.
Thank you for being here, Kailherixs. I wanted to ask you first, where do you come from?
So we do not believe your Earth yet has explored to where we live from, where I could tell you the name of the galaxy that we are a part of. But we can tell you that you do know of your own solar system and have had the ability to see somewhat beyond that to the neighboring galaxies, solar system next to those, and we are one removed from that. So we do come from quite a ways away in the way that you think of distance and time as a linear thing. But again, through the power of vibration, when we journey, we are basically asking for the vibrational field of Earth to be in our field, and then we instantly go there. It is not a transition through space over long periods of time. It is simply allowing our frequency to dissolve from one place and to reconnect in another.
Thank you very much. So I would like to know if you are here right now, or are you in your home, at your home, communicating through Tracy with us? And are you talking as a collective through one voice, or how is it taking place? Maybe you can give us a little bit of input.
Yes, so when we are speaking, we represent all the Kailherixs. This is one of our larger planets in our vibrational language. This is as close we can approximate the name of the largest planet within our little series of 4 that we have. But yes, I speak to you as the group consciousness of the Kailherixs. So we have many of us gathered here for this very important transitional time on your Earth system, but we instantly are always also connected to those who are remaining in our galaxy, and even those who are assisting in different galaxies with other planetary systems, also evolving. Again, once your race has mastered being able to be outside this 3-dimensional or 2-dimensional belief system around time and space, this will also be abilities you develop to be able to bilocate yourselves first locally, and then as you resolve any notion of limitation around space, you will also be able to move yourselves great distances with no time involved and no issue towards whatever your bodies are like at the time.
Thank you for that explanation. And I would like to know, at which frequency are you vibrating? Like, I don't know if you are aware that on Earth we have this construct from Dr. David Hawkins, who said that on Earth you can vibrate until 1,000, which is the vibration of enlightenment here on this Earth construct. So thinking of that, could you give us a number at which level you are at vibrating?
We are tuning into this particular man to see his scale, because your group of humanity has very different ideas about this. Some claim by the time you reach the 7th density, that is as high as you can go. But by his scale, I would say that we are 16th dimension. So he was imagining like a very, very high level of abilities that even our culture has not achieved yet. We imagine that on his scale, that 100th thing is more like source, right? The creator of all would be that 100th that he talks about, and that perhaps your Elohim, angelics, who were also part of the original creation of all, would be maybe in the 90s, things like this. So
I want to ask you, why Earth? Why humanity? Why are you helping us? Why are you communicating with us at this time?
one of the reasons we love humanity is that you have an enormous sense of humor. And we, for ourselves, as we grew more vibrational, we found our focus we realized over time that our focus had gotten too fixated on like perhaps evolution or technologies or whatever. And when we hear your laughter, this is a vibration that gives us enormous pleasure. And so we love being around. And you may not realize this, but you truly do have a beautiful planet. You are very blessed with the diversity of everything that you have here and the amount of water and different climates and differences in all the different kinds of people that live here and so many species, beautiful species on your planet. And so it is a very special planet for many, many reasons, and one that has been left to itself a lot more than others. And you are a grand experiment of seeing whether sort of the vibration of love and community and caring for each other would be the dynamic which would become the one that would be the vast majority of what exists here, or if the vibration of dominance and control and power would succeed. And so this has fascinated all of us watching you unfold through your evolution to see what would happen, even through destruction of everything numerous times. But this is the time we know you will succeed in this grand experiment. And so we are here in support of making sure that no other external forces that have very high technology would interfere with the final accumulation of this experiment, and also just to lend support for those who are already of that mindset nature, who have been doing things, but where technology has gotten to the point where it could cause mass destruction, making sure that this is not allowed to happen again.
Thank you very much. So would you like to describe this planet of Kailherixs?
So our planet is much more in the hues of the purples and blues, and it is much more gaseous than your planet. We do not have the levels of gravity that you have, and masses. The land masses that are there tend to be shifting and moving a lot, which is part of why we needed to develop these abilities to work more at the vibrational level and to change and move more. And as a culture, we focus on coming together as communities and allowing all of our vibrational field together to create experience of bliss and joy, which can come in the form of music, where our vibrations actually create sounds that we all enormously enjoy together, and to also work towards always assisting wherever we can go and be. We reached a level where everything on our planet is handled pretty much on autopilot for the basic needs of food, shelter, the liquids we need to take in, and all this kind of stuff. And so we had much time on our hands to just put our focus on other things. And this changed our biology, changed our brain structures, and changed almost everything about us. And yet somehow those simple tasks of having to make the food and do things like that ended up being something that was a sort of a bonding between people, between beings that was no longer there. And so we are also relearning from humanity how to make sure that we go back into more of a balance of having to do things like everyday things, because this can be very beautiful and very bonding and a different way of doing things than everything just through the vibrational field.
Thank you. So I would like to ask you, what are your favorite things for you to do or to experience in a normal, let's say normal, quote unquote, Kailherixs life?
So we also very much enjoy movement. There are a lot of times where we get together And while it is very different from what you consider dance, there is something for us about choosing a specific frequency with a rhythm to it and within a certain set of tones, and to all move together in this experience and to totally enjoy the experience of that particular set of musical criteria, and then perhaps to shift to something else. We need to work on our physical bodies often because we have low gravity and because we got too focused just on vibration for too long and started to lose some of our physicality. And so we also work as best we can to force our muscles to work at things so that we retain our physical abilities, because this is a joy to have a body and to be able to do things. And so we work at this, although perhaps work is not the correct term. It is enjoyable, even though we put great effort into this at times. And then we enjoy some of us are, just like on your planet, more artistic than others, and perhaps use their vibrational mechanisms to create something that you see visually that is very beautiful. And we gather to see these performances, often with, a dozen or more Kailherixs contributing to what it is we witness and see visually that is very beautiful and very creates many feelings of like harmony and high vibrational emotion states for us. And this is very pleasurable. We still do form bonding pairs, and it is a very open culture. So all is accepted, whatever form of bonding wishes to be between people or groups is acceptable, but everyone is a high enough state of consciousness that it is always done with absolute having the totality of the yes from everyone involved. When you get to the point where you can communicate telepathically, vibrationally, it is not really possible to lie anymore or to withhold an expression of doubt or fear. It is always seen for what it is, and so everyone is always understood the totality of who they are and what they are sensing or feeling. So this is very different.
I totally love that. So basically, my understanding is that to develop into a species that is able to communicate telepathically, the people need to not have any secrets between each other. Like total openness and authenticity is like a pre-requirement to enable us to get there. And as far as I know, on Earth, this is being developed right now. So could you please elaborate on that and let us know where we are at right now from your point of view?
So we would just like to change a little bit how you said that. As you are going into the high consciousness and more people are into the high consciousness, people will not feel the need to hide who they are so much anymore, so that it will not be necessarily an exercise of we must all always tell the absolute truth in every moment so that we can telecommunicate. More than your consciousness raises to a level and the self-love raises to a level that there is no longer a fear of being seen for who you are. And there is a longing that is arising very strongly in many levels of your culture, where everyone simply wants to understand each other's truths. And people are growing tired of this old energy of this is right, this is wrong, you are correct, you are incorrect, all of this fixation that you have been in, only seeing opposition of one thing to another, and one being deemed correct or incorrect or right or wrong or moral or immoral in your world, and instead moving into a fluidity of understanding that each being, as a sovereign being, is following a path toward a higher level of consciousness. And this requires different explorations for different people. And so as there becomes a field of acceptance of all the different ways that individuals can explore and discover who they are, there will be no need to hide or to lie or to keep something from someone else. And it is a more natural gift than a worked on gift. There can be intent and holding with intent that, yes, I would like to be able to communicate telepathically, but then there also must just be the letting go and knowing that this is arising and will continue arising. Already, many, many more people are experiencing deeper levels of intuition, no longer just hearing the words that someone says, but feeling the reality beneath the words and knowing like, okay, that person just told me they were fine, but I can feel there is a deep disturbance inside them about something. There is fear present. There is other things present. And the bravery, although it won't feel like bravery, it will just feel like this is the normal thing that you do, is to help someone who is afraid to say what is true for them, to feel safe enough to express it. And so as more of you move into this, it creates a dynamic field where naturally more and more you will feel, tune into the vibrations of each other. And when you learn to just freely allow those vibrations of your feelings, your thoughts, your visions to, to move toward each other, the words will begin falling away more and more and more, and just the totality will learn to be delivered like instantaneously. Like you could just be with someone for a period of 1 minute and have completely caught up on the last year of their life and exactly what they are feeling and thinking and wanting. And so this becomes a beautiful shortcut for understanding each other and knowing how to assist each other in having what each one wants.
Thank you. That's beautiful. I would like to know what you see in the future of humanity. You already gave a spoiler that this time we're going to make it. We're going to ascend just like Mother Earth, just rise up. But now that we're starting 2026 very soon, is there any message that you want to share about our evolution next year? What's coming up?
This will be a very interesting year on your planet because enough of you have reached a threshold that there will be an acceleration. And you have been being gifted and are continuing to be gifted by all kinds of new, some call them light codes, some call them, 5D gifts and abilities, or all such things. And so many of you will have shifted into a high enough dynamic that for those of you who are not ready to make this shift, there will be a discomfort on the earth. There is also going to be a lot of dismantling of the beginnings of dismantling. This will be more likely another 5 to 10 years of dismantling the old systems that were not truly designed to serve all, but more like place power control resources in the hands of few. But those systems will begin to fail and come down, and many will take this as a terrible sign that things are falling apart and things are not well. But we just wish to give you the message that on every planet, everywhere, chaos is the necessary step before the rebuilding of the beautiful new systems that will function and will serve you well. And so do your best to celebrate. Another one is collapsing. How beautiful is that? And through these challenges will help you to re-find what you had at your core, which was your desire to have community and to assist each other, understanding that you each have beautifully different points of views, gifts, and abilities. and how to bring those together, not only for survival purposes, but for thriving purposes, and to move your whole planetary systems into those that will truly serve and create more grace and ease. And as you have that, the amount of creative energy that will free up to be just utilized to make life more amazing for everyone will really start to thrive in that environment when beings are no longer forced to put in time for money to survive. This will create a huge wave of creativity and new technologies and unbelievable changes and shifts on your earth, and it will be very exciting. But continue. I know some of you feel you have been waiting so long and you feel like you cannot wait any longer. But already the pockets are there for you to be in and enjoy these higher vibrations, these places where you can feel in community. So keep looking for that. And if you can't find one, create it yourself. Find other like-minded beings and find ways to support each other. And this will sustain you through this next period, as well as your continuing, as you have been doing, to growing into greater and greater understandings of Spirit Source and how it works with you and assists you when you ask and allow it to.
Thank you very much. Do you have any parting message for the collective tuning into the audience?
We wish you all to understand that your most powerful tool is when you are truly connecting to Source and shining and operating from that connection. That does way more than trying to get others to see, trying to convince others to have some understanding. Simply expressing the beauty of your own being and your own understanding and working to see where can I allow this to shine within my sphere of influence close by me, those, whatever, knowing that it will naturally extend and go from there. Do not feel like you are only of service if you are coming up with some big world global solution. Some of you came here to do that, and that is very beautiful. And others of you came to serve simply by holding the light within you, speaking when people are open to hearing it, and showing your love and compassion in ways very small, throughout your day that touch other people and help them take a moment, feel seen, feel appreciated, and feel like this is a sustenance that will carry them and helps uplift them. There are so many, many beautiful ways that you are all serving. And know that for some of you, you are still in the time of exploration. We know you are really impatient sometimes with yourselves and your own process and thinking you should be somewhere other than where you are. And just know that if you are feeling lost in what your sense is what you should be giving or doing right now, it is okay. Breathe into it. Be more like, this is my time to explore, because that is the message for many of you. You are still making your way out of an old system and beliefs, what you needed to do for your living, and now only just starting to unfold into, what would I be doing if I just really gave myself permission to find what I love, what would give me joy to be doing. And you may not know instantly. You may have to go play with things that intrigue you, follow your guidance, and it will not be a straight road, but just keep exploring. And then when you find that thing or those things, you will know, because you will feel so fulfilled within you, and it will just feel easy. This is so easy. I had no idea it could be so simple and easy. So relax, beautiful ones. You are well on your journey.
Thank you very much. And that's a beautiful message. Chillax and shine your light, even if it's just making a joke. So I hope when I'm making jokes, you guys will be around. Thanks for being here.
Yes. Just remember to ask us. This is the one thing all beings of love and light in service need is your permission as sovereign beings. You must ask and allow for us to help.
Thank you very much.
We wish to ask, would you like us to do a transmission at this juncture before moving on to whatever topic you would like to discuss with the channel Tracy?
Yeah, please.
All right. So for this, you will simply permission what we are sending, and you can know that we are sending this always with the intent that it match your state of being, your vibrational field, and with the understanding that your soul has its own particular journey that it is on, and what will be gifted to you is in alignment with that. This is the way it is at the higher vibrational level. Like we said, it is always with the absolute permissioning and understanding and the knowing of the other and what it is they seek and desire as part of their journey. So relax, look into the eyes, know it is coming from the hands and the heart of this one as well, and simply receive. Yeah, they're always wild. Allow to come through.
Yeah, they gave us a transmission at the end also for everyone. Basically, whatever this person needs who is watching is going to get it.
Yeah.
So pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I can't say that I go into a complete trance state, but way more than any other beings that I channel, I have to be further out of the way for them to come through. So I still catch little pieces of the messages, and I definitely am feeling them the whole time. This very intense high vibrational field. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Tracy, for that.
Yeah, you're so welcome. I am so excited for everyone to, know about them and know to ask and call on them. And I can't wait to hear how people think to do that and what the results are of bringing them in. So, yeah.
Exactly. So if the audience has any comments to do after calling upon the Kailherixs, we would love to hear about that. So just comment down below. It has been so far almost a Kailherixs show, to be honest with you.
Yeah, pretty much, but that's okay.
Well, they needed to introduce themselves, and let us know a little bit about themselves, Like, I don't know, I love getting to know new people. So I was like, where are you from? And what is this about? And what is that?
No, that was fun. I'm glad you just asked them lots of questions. It's nice knowing more about them.
Thank you. So now that we are in this holiday season, I would like to know about Tracy. What are your plans during this season? What do you connect with this holiday season? Is there any belief that you follow? I don't know, what do you do for your holidays, etc.? What would you like to share?
Well, I am someone who was blessed in that I have fond memories of holidays. Well, I was raised Catholic right after I got confirmed. My mom, as a sort of feminist and women's liber and stuff, kind of got to the point where she was not going to let some old white guy in Italy tell her what she could do or not do with her body anymore. And we kind of quit attending mass and all that. I'm old enough that the mass was actually taught in Latin, right? So you didn't really understand very much. But I remember for me, the time I most sensed the presence of the Christ consciousness, or what I would have described just at a younger age, like this loving field, right? This feeling like we were all connected there, was the Christmas Eve where we would sing the Christmas songs and stuff like that. And it's been an interesting journey for me, learning about the truth of, that his birthday wasn't actually December 25th, and, meeting people who were very upset by that and whatever. For me, when I tune into that beautiful Christ consciousness, like, he doesn't care. It's like, great. You're going to celebrate me. I mean, I'm with you always. My consciousness is always available to all of you. And if you choose to celebrate, certain of you under certain religions, choose to celebrate me on December 25th, I'm fine with it. And I just love that this is a time that for many of you, you slow down enough and take the time to express appreciation for each other and I just encourage you to know that what people truly want is what comes from your heart. So if it's not fun for you to buy presents or do that, think of some other way to just express appreciation for each other at this time and celebrate that you come together as families under whatever holiday name you choose to celebrate. It really is a time to just come together and express appreciation of each other. Share in whatever ceremonies have meaning for you, whether that's cooking a particular meal together, setting up a tree, doing something completely, lighting candles for Hanukkah, whatever it is you celebrate. It's a beautiful time of year as the days are so short to come together in your own light that you form by your love and connection to each other. And we know sometimes biological families are not always the one that allow your light to shine. And so give yourself permission to be with soul family at that time if that has more meaning for you. Peter and I Peter loves putting outside Christmas lights on and the blow up things and, you name it, we've probably got it in our yard and icicles rimming the house and all that. We do like to have a Christmas party. I like to have people sing, I invite musician friends and we'll probably have guitar and keyboard and some drums and who knows what. And we will sing for a while and, just enjoy the tree and a big potluck meal together. We'll see if I'm blessed. My daughter will be here with me. My son is now in a relationship where, it's serious enough that it's their turn to go to her family's for Christmas. And I'm in total support of that. So yeah, I just love it as a time to express love to people that I care about.
Oh, that's beautiful, Tracy. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. So, is there any message from anyone who wants to share about Christmas and the importance of it?
All right. I will say that I am the spirit of St. Nicholas, but I will also say that there have been many St. Nicholases known by many different names. And this is the people who have a special understanding of the importance of focusing on the children at certain times and knowing that there are children for whom their parents do not have much ability to provide for them. And so it is a time where those of us who see that those children in need must be attended to over the holidays so that they can also enjoy the magic that isn't implied in those holidays of the gift giving or the special foods or things like that. And whether you are being in service to your own children, other family members' children, or just taking a hand and actively reaching out within the community to find out which children might need some help on your part in order to make their holiday magic. We really encourage you to do this because there is, especially if you get to be somewhere and see those children receive what you are doing for them, it gives you back 100-fold more than what you gave in your efforts to give them whatever you've given them. But even just the fun of planning something and maybe wrapping and dropping off gifts for children someplace or giving money to groups that help, with families in need at that time can be very precious part of your holiday. And of course, making sure that you gift to yourself as well during that time, right? It is a time to really just celebrate whatever makes your heart happy and gift yourself with something.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's a gift something to the inner child. What is it that it enjoys?
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Other beloveds may gift you with things, and that's great too, but you know your inner child better than anyone. What would they like?
Like Peter, he loves decorating. He does it.
Yep, 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 yep. Gives him lots of joy to drive through the neighborhood. He likes being an influencer, right? We get our lights out, and then other people are putting their lights out.
Thank you very much. That's a beautiful message.
Yeah. Well, I hope everyone out there, whatever you celebrate, gets to have some beautiful close time with people that you love and who see you and know you and love you. That is the best gift of all. And if there's some good food and some presents, great.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, Carolina, I wish you and your fiance a fabulous time and, hope that your community, wherever you are living, is magical for the holidays.
Thank you. I wish you too also amazing holiday time and have a nice season, wintry season of love.
You will. Thank you all for having joined us here. And of course, the same wishes for you and yours.